here. It looks like it's just me and you, unless we can. I think there's somebody who's stuck to his brothers and sisters in there. His nieces and nephews. That's all right too. He's going to be a good one. Where's your brother at? Where's Mangy at? At home. You tell him I called him Mangy, okay? It's good to see you. You're getting to be a big man. And you're one day you're going to look here and you're going to see all the little kids down here and you're going to say, I don't want to hang out with those little babies down there. I'm glad it's just me and today. Glad to hear you. You're about to end up school for the year. Do you have any big plans for the summer? Really? Go to Point Mallard. Do you have like a membership? One of those things pass? All right. You can go every day if you want to. I was going to say Bailey can hook you up if she's got connections out there. She used to own Point Mallard. Did you know that? No, I didn't. Sorry. No, just the water park. But I don't know how you are at school or among your friends. When I was about your age, I was a little socially backward. Not suggesting that you might be, but I found it, I didn't want to talk very much. You can talk, can't you? Say something. Testing. Hello. I'm just being funny at your expense or trying desperately. I had difficulty making friends, and I didn't know how to start conversations with people. And that's when I started doing magic. I found out, even if you're quiet or reserved, a person like that is called an introverted person. You may be introverted. An extrovert is someone that's just, and they're just so bubbly and loud, and they have so many friends, and they seem to be, they seem to have a lot going on. One got loose. Oh, they're getting away. I thought it was a lone getaway, but Nana's helping. I began doing sleight of hand. I really like card tricks. So even if you're, I don't really, I guess I don't, it doesn't matter who you are. I think most people like to get attention. And that's one thing about celebrating mothers and Mother's Day. There's probably nobody that'll ever give you more attention than your mom. Your dad's if you start fooling around your dad much, you'll say, where's your mom at? Where's your mom at? Look, why don't you go bother her a little while? Dads are peculiar people. But if you'd ever be interested in learning some really cool card tricks to do, anybody can do magic. There's nothing magical about it at all other than just the entertainment day. But as you coin tricks, things like that, and it's sometimes when you might find it difficult to say hello to someone or start a conversation, you might just start doing a magic trick and get their attention. It helped me kind of, as they say, come out of my shell. Now, I don't want you to misinterpret this. I'm not saying that's a good way to pick up chicks. I'm not because all girls don't like magic. I'm going to show you something. Wrong pocket. Here we go. This is a red wooden thimble. As a matter of fact, it's made just particularly for sleight of hand because it's a little bit larger than a normal thimble. It's got a little ridge around the bottom. And it has ridges along the top, so it makes it easier to grip it in different palm ways. Take a look at that if you want to. It's just a thimble. A thimble is usually used in sewing. You wear it on one of your fingers so that when you poke a needle through fabric, you can poke it into that thimble and pull it through, because that's what sewing is, pushing and pulling a needle and thread through a fabric, or buttons and things like that. And I remember my mother, even late in her life, when she was able to, my mother often sewed things for us. Terry is my wife, she's very gifted in a lot of different ways. She can sing, and she can wear wonderful with kids in many different ways, and has many talents. But she always said, she didn't really learn much about sewing growing up, so Mom did a lot of sewing. My grandmother used a thimble. It wasn't anything at all like this. And so when I think of this thimble, I think of my mother and my grandmother. And there's probably something that is a part of your life right now, that when you get older, I don't know, it might be a photograph or a song that comes on the radio. It'll make you think of someone from your past that you miss. We're all if we live long enough, we'll get to a place where our people we love are no longer around us anymore. And I can just think of that. My grandmother taught me a game called Hide the Thimble. Hide the thimble. And I put a thimble in your pocket while someone else turned around. And he said, well, is it in your pocket? Is it in your shoe? Is it behind your ear? And so forth. It's a guessing game. So my grandmother, she taught us a lot of different kinds of games. But I learned some sleight of hand. So I'm going to just teach you some thimble magic. There may be a thimble or a sewing kit in your home. So if you do, you might already have a thimble. But if you can put it on the end of your finger, if you can bend your finger and put it into the fork of your thumb there, that's just called a thumb palm. It's just very easy. So all you have to do is just kind of close your fist and grab it with your thumb. You say, well, I can still see it. Well, what you would do is have your hand like this so that you can't see it. So, watch this. You show your hands that you have a thimble. And what you'd say is, I'm going to take this thimble and just make it vanish. You see how it works there. It's very, so the thimble is right there. And I do those two motions. I do that taking off motion and the thumb palm motion at the same time. And it looks like this. So I'm going to take this, take that thimble and pretend to throw it up in the air. And then if you put it back on your finger, you can show the back of your hand and the front of your hand. See? The front of your hand, the back of your hand. And then you say the top of your hand like that. And it looks like the thimble really is gone. And it's just really using that thumb palm motion. And here you can do this too. This is one of my favorite tricks. You can kind of make it go around and around, where it makes their eyes swim a little bit and then go. Just like that. You see where your eyes are going. You know where it's at, don't you? See, it's right there. It's just a matter of just before I get to my mouth, palming that. It's easy to do. You could do something like that. Almost anything that will fit on your finger, you could do that. A ball cap, a rubber band, and then here, and it's back again. Also, you can hold a thimble like this and put it on the back of your hand by holding that ridge. Move your hand just a little bit, it kind of blurs it just enough to make it hard to see, and then it's back. But there are thousands of things in my life, but when I see them, it makes me think of somebody, someone important in my life, or something that happened. And I'm filled with all those kinds of memories. There's a lot of things right now in your mind and your heart is recording every day. Things you smell, taste, sounds you hear. And so you treasure those, because when you get to be my age, then you can, sometimes the most pleasant thing that can happen to you is that a memory come into your mind. Think of Hide the Thimble right now, all right? God brings these people into our lives. And there's more things happening in your life than you probably realize right now. It's all the goodness of God. And He can bring them in. And also there's a promise for those of us who are believers. Anybody who's a believer, if you're a believer, you know that someday, all the things you've ever seen and tasted and smelled and enjoyed, all the things that have brought joy into your life, you'll be able to experience them again in a place that the Bible calls heaven. All right? All right, thank you for coming and let me spend some time with you. If you want to learn a card trick, I'll show you one of those too.